New statements today from Donald Trump show the U.S. president is doubling down on his stunning proposal to take over Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel today joined the U.S. in formally withdrawing from the UN Human Rights Council. UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese calls Israel's pullout extremely serious, saying the decision shows the, quote, hubris and the lack of realization of what they have done. Albanese went on to say that Israel is signaling to the global community that it has nothing to be held accountable for. Meantime, Israel is also responding to Trump's controversial proposal to take over Gaza, ordering its army to prepare a plan for Palestinians who want to voluntarily leave the region. So how is this move from Israel following the U.S. impacting the conflict between Israel and Hamas? A delicate ceasefire remains in place, but can it withstand these actions? For more, we go now to CBC senior correspondent Sasha Petrusik in Jerusalem. Sasha, what are you hearing where you are?
Well, Arthi, this move by Israel is really the latest step in a long feud that it has had with the United Nations and its various human rights bodies. If you remember, a couple of months ago, it kicked out the UNRWA, which is the main organization that takes care of Palestinian refugees. And now it has withdrawn from the Human Rights Council, saying that this council has always been biased against Israel and even accusing it of being anti-Semitic. It probably wanted to withdraw from this council a long time ago, but now it has the cover of being able to follow in the footsteps, as you say, of Donald Trump, the United States, its biggest foreign backer, its most powerful foreign backer. They pulled out from the same organization just a couple of days ago, and now Israel feels that it is safe to do that. It's doing a lot of things that are in conjunction with Donald Trump these days, feeling that Trump in some ways has Israel's back and is in line with what certainly the government here feels, that the direction that the government here feels that Israel should be moving in. In particular, this idea of emptying out Gaza, moving some 2 million Palestinians out of the territory and handing it over to the United States. That's what Donald Trump is suggesting today. He's also saying that he wouldn't need to send in any U.S. troops because it would just be handed over by Israel at the end of whatever conflict is going on. Huge problems with all of that, a lot of resistance from the rest of the world. Obviously, also, he's not answering questions about whether this is consistent with international law, because Israel doesn't actually control Gaza, according to international law, so it can't really hand it to the United States. Plus, the idea that U.S. troops would not have to be involved is kind of hard to square with the fact that Israel's been in there for 16 months with its troops and still hasn't been able to get out. So the point here is, I guess, in many ways, that Israel is really very excited about what the opportunity that Trump is giving them. Certainly the hard-line settler parties here are looking for opportunities to move into Gaza, and many others are cheering Trump on, including Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is still in the United States. Speaking to media, this is what he had to say about the Trump proposal.
The actual idea of allowing first Gazans who want to leave. I mean, what's wrong with that? They can leave. They can then come back, they can relocate and come back, but you have to rebuild Gaza. If you want to rebuild Gaza, you can't have, this is the first good idea that I've heard. It's a remarkable idea, and I think it should be really pursued, examined, pursued, and done.
Of course, there are also problems with that approach as far as Israel is concerned, because it has a history of not allowing Palestinians back into the various territories in this region. So a lot of concern that this is actually a move to move that population out without a real plan to allow them to come back in again. So a lot of debate here.
And Sasha, how are people in Gaza reacting to all of these developments?
Yeah, it's been a huge concern there, in addition to all of the other things they have to worry about. This has been a very, very stormy day here in this region, a couple of days actually. Very cold, high winds, rain bordering on snow, and obviously a population that is desperately trying to put up tents and find some kind of shelter in an area where their houses have been torn down, where aid, yes, has been ramped up, but still isn't enough for that kind of population. 10,000 trucks, we're told by the UN, have moved in there in the last almost 3 weeks now since the ceasefire started, but not enough. And a lot of questions being asked. First of all, whether they should stay, whether they can stay with children and with all the difficulties of living in that rubble, but also worried that the other Arab countries who have so far resisted this proposal by Donald Trump, whether these other countries can resist the pressure that Trump is going to be placing on them, especially next week. One of the countries that Trump thinks should be taking Palestinians, Jordan, the King of Jordan, is going to be in Washington at the White House next week. And they are worried about the pressure that the U.S. administration is going to be putting on Jordan, Egypt, other countries to take these Palestinians, and that they might cave. This is what they were telling us when we spoke to people in Gaza.
Yeah, I told you before that this is not the first time he talked about replacement of Gaza people from Gaza, or the Palestinian from West Bank or Gaza. But he's beginning this plan with taking out people of Gaza to another countries like Jordan and Egypt and Indonesia. And he's serious about it. I think that he's very serious about it. With my knowledge with Trump, no. Even the countries they said no in the first time, they will eventually agree to move the Gaza people from Gaza.
Now, as for Hamas, it is saying it categorically rejects the U.S. Plan, the one articulated by Trump, and it is calling on all Palestinians to unite and to fight against Trump and whatever all of this might entail. So there's a lot of tension in Gaza still, as well as obviously a lot of suffering.
Sasha, thank you for the latest on this. That is Sasha Petrusek reporting from Jerusalem.